not in service at this time.
As a child, my parents had a friend that were working in the film business. One was a production designer, and another one was a production manager, and a line producer. And they were at the moment, I think I was around 8 or something. They were making a big, very famous TV series in Denmark, historical. And I remember they were talking about they needed to get a 3-legged dog, and they just talked about this. I was hearing the adults speak about this, and I found it so so magical. It's like a world where you had to get a 3-legged dog, and it was adults talking about this very seriously, and it just sounded so intriguing and magical. And if that's something you could do as for a living, it would be fantastic. The writer of the film, Anders Thomas Jensen, is a good friend of mine, and we've collaborated before I went to film school, and also during film school. He wrote some of my films in film school, and also a short film I did right after film school, and so we have long been talking about to do a project together, and he was actually attached to The Shamer's Daughter before I was. So he was writing, loose drafts when he asked. I knew he was writing it, and he asked, "Would you mind reading it? Just give me your comments and notes." But I sensed that he would be interested in me directing it if he had a say, So and I knew the producers as well. And I knew the story as well, so I was, very curious, and so I read it, and I said, I really want to do this.
Jeg kan ikke se hans skyld. Han skammer sig over meget, men han har ikke slået sin far eller sin familie ihjel.
The first drafts were very true to the book. I mean, 1-to-1 actually. And the funny thing is, the author told us to liberate ourselves more. She wanted it. Or she encouraged us, because she could sense that we were trying to be very honest and true to the book, and we wanted, of course, to be true to the character Dina, the main character, and her issues and story, but eventually when you adapt something from one format to the other, you have to. There will always be compromises and things you have to cut and things you have to invent to make things work out. I really wanted it to be a closed story, or it could stand for itself. Of course, there would be some kind of promise or hint of a continuation, but still I wanted Dina to be presented as a character that somehow got closure for the issues she has in the beginning, although there's an arc stretching further out. There's a lot of material in this series. I would say this is actually the most simple storyline of all the books. It is somewhat of a presentation, you could say, of characters. There's 4 books. I think the idea would be to produce 3 films, maybe. But it's always a question of financing and getting the right people together. So. But I love the whole universe, the world, the cast. It's I feel somewhat obliged also to the kids, you know, because I feel I owe them to be there for them, and you know, so I really want to do that. I was happy to have, especially this festival, to have the international premiere, because it has a good reputation, this festival. And I always wanted to come to Montreal, so it's great.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.